Hello and welcome to this week's Reddit reply. This is going to be a shorter one because, as I've stated, when we get closer to the release of a new expansion box, kind of the questions start slowing down a little bit. So there's less to kind of cover. But that's all right. Once the box comes out, I think everyone's hyped for it. Then there'll be a ton more questions, and then Reddit reply will be probably much longer. So let's enjoy the slowdown while we can. Really quick though, do me a huge favor. If you have not done it yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I know a lot of people that watch these videos don't hit that button, but we have hit over 5,000 subscribers on this channel, which is bonkers. It's crazy to think about in like less than 3 years, I guess. We've hit 5,000 subs. So I appreciate everyone that has hit that free button. It helps the channel so much. You don't even know it. So thank you all who have done that already. And if you haven't yet, please consider doing so. Let's go check out Reddit. All right, the first one is, did the community not respond? Yeah, I assume not. Respond well to Sinister Motives campaign. Only just got into the game a few months ago and have been playing through the campaigns with a friend. We started with Sinister Motives and had a lot of fun, trying to get as many side goals as possible. Getting rewarded with stuff at the different tiers felt rewarding. Then we did more, Red Skull, Mutant Genesis, etc. These campaigns didn't really give us a good reason to try for the extras. The class cards were underwhelming and Jubilee wasn't impacted enough for us to care if she stayed out or not. Jubilee was pretty good. I will say that. Whatever. Red Skull gave us one extra one-time use card. Did the community not respond well for the more intricate Sinister Motives? So here's the thing with that. So comparing it to Red Skull or Guardians Most Wanted or the Thanos box, right? They were all before Sinister Motives, and Red Skull especially. For those that don't know, I feel like this is not well known. There was never supposed to be a campaign, right? And I forgot the podcast, and I feel like I should shout somebody out because I'm pretty sure this was on a podcast, or maybe it was Caleb Grace that posted. It was somebody from Fantasy Flight Games talking about it, right? This wasn't like a third-hand account. This was somebody from Fantasy Flight Games talking about it. And the general idea was that when they were originally designing this with Caleb and the other guy that started it, whose name escapes me right now, then I'll think about it later. When they originally designed this game, they wanted to just have that arcade style feeling to the game, right? They just wanted you to play how most people play, which is not with the campaign, where just like you pull out a villain, you be a hero, and you fight, and that's it. And the studio head at the time, Andy Navarro, was like, well, you have to have a campaign. Like, all these games have campaigns. Why would you not have a campaign? And kind of pushed for it. Rise of Red Skull campaign was kind of thrown together. I do think there was a positive response to the campaign. And in general, I think they realized, okay, we're going to have to do this. So let's put some thought and effort into it. So you can see the evolution of the campaign each time it comes out of a different box. What I think is more unique and interesting is no two campaigns are really the same, right? They all use different mechanics. They all kind of do different things. And I think that's really neat. I think they've done a really good job with, like, not only do we get excited about the heroes and the villains and the cards in the box, but like the campaign part of it too is something where you're just like, I wonder what they're going to do. I wonder what this time, like what this box's hook is, or this interesting thing is. So I think that's really cool in the way that they do it. So yeah, anyway, long story short, people are responding really well. Just, it always changes and they're always trying to do something different. Michael Boggs was the name I was thinking of when I was first thinking about it, but it actually might have been Nate French now too. I can't remember. There was early on, I think it was Nate French and Caleb that worked on it, and like Michael came in and out, or Michael was also part of it. I completely forgot because it's been so long now. But anyway, one of them was a part of it, and that's the name I was trying to think of. Question about meditation and alter ego actions. Hello, if I have War Machine on alter ego, if I have War Machine alter ego, which makes me, it doesn't make you do it, you can choose to do that. But anyway, has me shuffle a card back in the deck. This doesn't exhaust my identity, right? Doesn't say to do that, so you don't do that unless it says to exhaust. You don't exhaust. But by the way, just FYI, so in case people forget or don't know, you can only do it one. There is an errata on that, an official errata, where you can't just keep putting your identity cards in. Apparently, they forgot the wording once per round or once per phase or whatever. So anyway, you can use your alter ego action of meditation. Yes, you still could. Rules question. I try my best to find an answer to this. If I'm playing Hawkeye, can I include the basic Mockingbird in my deck? And if yes, I assume both Mockingbirds can't coexist. So yeah, they wouldn't be able to coexist and they can't be in your deck. So what you want to look for, this is the 1.5 rulebook. What page is this? 37. So under 37 is the unique icon, which is what you're looking for. Mockingbird has that unique icon, as does apparently. How do they not have an image up for this Mockingbird? But whatever. So anyway, in Marvel In the Marvel setting, it is possible for multiple people to bear the same title. For example, more than one person can bear the title of Captain America, but there's only one Steve Rogers. Because of this, a comparison of alter egos and or subtitles between two cards may create the following exceptions to the unique rule. This is the important part to know. If two identities share the same title, but each has a different alter ego, they may coexist. If two unique allies with the same title, but each has a different subtitle, they may coexist in a player's deck and in play. An ally without a subtitle cannot coexist with an ally with a subtitle, blah, blah, blah. So the reason it's important is because Mockingbird, this one, is Bobby Morse, and Mockingbird, this one, is also Bobby Morse. Right, so you would not be able to play basic Mockingbird with Hawkeye Mockingbird. Now, what you could do is Falcon Leadership with Sam Wilson and Falcon Leadership Joaquin Torres, because even though they're both Falcon, they use different subtitles. So you could have both these Falcons in your deck and in play, according to page 37 of the rulebook, with this whole bit right here. So anyway, not only is it important to look at the name of the ally or hero or whatever, but also the sub name or the alter ego name is really important. Just in case, again, they might maybe down the road have a Captain America and another Captain America, which would be kind of cool. How many decks do you keep built at one time? I have all the content up to Rogue. I haven't counted recently, but I believe it's close to 20 hero decks. Really lowers the barrier for getting the game set up quickly and playing a few games with a couple of random heroes. I mostly stop building when I run out of allies to put in my decks. I think I have a couple not in decks, but those are either really bad ones or trait locked aspects like champions that I don't have the correct aspect deck built for at the moment. It does stop me from building too many decks, since every card I take out of an existing deck needs to be replaced, which can be a bit of a hassle. I know this is a popular way to do things, but I've never done this. I have never, ever kept a built deck for Marvel Champions. For Arkham Horror and Lord of the Rings, when it's like more campaign-based, yes, absolutely, I get that. I've never done this for Marvel Champions, and I see it coming up a lot on Reddit that people like pre-made decks, and I get the argument for it, right? I really do. I still feel like it kind of hinders you a little bit with like, if you have a deck for Hero A that you like and is good, and Hero B, you have this really good deck as well, but oh wait, the one deck that would make it, or the one card that would make it perfect is in Hero A, so I'm not going to bother doing it because it's too much work. Like, that feels backwards to me, and I don't know if I'm the only one. Right? I don't know if I have the weird position on this or whatever. And I'm kind of genuinely curious how much of my community like has pre-made decks for the ready. And this doesn't include like going to an event, right? I get if you go to an event, like, yeah, you're going to bring a handful of decks because you're not going to sit there with a bunch of people to like, you know, build or whatever. But like, especially if it's just you playing by yourself and just hanging out, like, do you keep decks built? And if so, why? And I guess the other thing is it decks you built or is it pre-con decks? Because I also understand the argument people are just keeping their pre-con decks because they don't want to deck build. That one makes sense to me too. But I don't know. This game just seems so straightforward in deck building. And like there's nuance, but they're not like hours spent nuance like there is for Lord of the Rings and whatever. Maybe it's because I'm a bad deck builder. That's just like, it doesn't take that long for me to build a deck. And especially I plan it all out on Marvel CDB anyway. So I would just do it on there and then I just put the deck together. It takes like, I don't know. I have all the cards. I have every single card and they're all sleeved. And I don't know, it takes me like 5 minutes to build it. So I don't know. It's just one of those things that I'm genuinely kind of curious about with other people. Trouble with the obligation card. Hello there. I have some trouble with the obligation card. So if I defend an attack from the villain, exhaust my hero, and my encounter card is the obligation card, can I use my already exhausted hero to remove the card from the game, or do I need a second option from the obligation card? Need the second option. It's really annoying that like most of the cards are that you have to exhaust, and I feel like this happens less now in the future. Like it still happens, or not the future, more recent cards. It still happens, but it's happening less. And I think it's because they realize it's really hampered protection and defending. The entire purpose of being a protection is to exhaust and defend. Not the entire purpose, but like a big part of it. And if you can't get rid of the card out of play like you could for the other three aspects, you're either going to hurt protection or hurt the hero. Like it's weird. It's really, really weird. And I felt like it was one of those things where they just wanted to like do something kind of quick and like it made the most sense and whatever. But as the game got deeper and they got more to it, it didn't quite make sense, I would guess. So yeah, now you can't use your already exhausted card. It stinks. It's really annoying. Psylocke solo. I'm pretty new to the game, and up to a few days ago, only had the base set with a couple of playthroughs with each character with the precon deck. I decided to pick up a new character and thought I'd get one that I like, and Psylocke has always been one of my favorite X-Men, so that's what I went with. I've had 6 games later with her precon deck, and I haven't even gotten close to being Rhino. There's your first problem, playing Rhino. I seem to keep getting overwhelmed by side schemes, and 2 times in a row, I pulled a card that activates her Nemesis deck. Shadow of the Past. No, I get that. I'm not sure if she's bad solo or if I'm playing her wrong or what. I've read that she's not easy for newer players, but she also seems kind of slow damage-wise. So I'm wondering if she is better as a support character in multiplayer. Any tips? All right, so for those that don't know, I got trashed online for just saying Psylocke is okay. And Psylocke, in my opinion, still is just okay. I don't actually mind playing Psylocke. I will play her and it's fine. But what I will say is that she is trickier for new players, for sure. She does take a little of finesse and nuance to really get going. I think your biggest problem is playing Rhino. Like, I don't play Rhino. I have thousands of plays in this game. Thousands at this point. I play a lot of Marvel Champions. I think I've played Rhino solo like 3 times. And it's because chat made me do it. Right? Like, there's no sense in playing him solo. It's way too difficult. It's not balanced at all for solo. And this is my side rant really quick, because this is one of the reasons a lot of people go, well, the game's not really made for solo play. It's really a multiplayer game. Yes, I agree. When the game first came out, they had in their mind that it was a multiplayer game. I don't believe that's the case anymore. I think they're fully aware that this game is rated by the Solo Board Game Guild, or whatever the heck they're called, as one of their top 5 solo games. And they're going to lean into that. That's a lot of solo people that are buying this game specifically for solo. Does that mean this is now a solo focused game? No, it does not. But I do believe it's evenly split between solo and multiplayer nowadays. And it's why a lot of the heroes, like, we have very few heroes anymore that you can make an argument that they're not good for solo. Is Psylocke good at solo? Yes, she can be. She's just hard to navigate sometimes, especially if you're a new player. But there are heroes from like the very beginning that just were not the best solo heroes, right? Or even kind of a cycle or 2 in. But anyway, that's a side rant for everything, because I know that comes up all the time. I disagree nowadays that this game is not a solo focused game, and that I think almost any hero now can be played solo pretty effectively. Now, you might have to lean into their strengths, or buff up their weaknesses or whatever, depending on the villain that you play. But my overall take from just this right now, don't play Rhino, right? It's just not worth it. He is not balanced at all for solo. Pretty much all the other villains nowadays are. I mean, heck, even Claw Onward, I think is perfectly balanced for solo, with the exception of Kang. Not that he's not balanced for solo, he's just not as fun solo as he would be multiplayer, right? He makes a lot more sense for multiplayer. But with that one exception, all the villains work. Just do not play Rhino. Promo cards. Where can I get promo cards in Europe? Germany specific. I don't know. I hate seeing these questions. I really do. Because it's so incredible. So for those that know, I'm a big fan of Ashes Reborn. I love that game. I love Ashes Reborn so incredibly much. It's such a fun game. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Marvel Champions a lot too, but I love Ashes Reborn. Marvel Champions, to get their promo cards, has been a nightmare since the beginning, right? Thank God I got in this game early on when the eBay scalpers weren't as bad and the game wasn't as popular, that I was able to pick up a pack of the organized play promo cards for like $30 some, right? Now they're selling all the cards like combined for like hundreds of dollars. It's absolutely insane. And you can't get the older cards anymore because it's not like they print them anymore. Like, you have to wait for someone to sell their entire collection. If I sold my Marvel Champions collection, my promo cards would fetch a crazy price at this point because I have all of them. It's nuts. Actually, I don't even have all of them. There's super secret ones that people don't know about, with that the original Gen Con ones, which I want to get my hands on at some point, but I've given up on that pipe dream. But anyway, I digress. It's one of the most frustrating things with Marvel Champions, right? It's incredibly frustrating. The reason I bring up Ashes Reborn is because if you go to a show like PAX Unplugged and you go up to Plaid Hat Games and you say, hello, I would like some promo cards for Ashes Reborn, they go, here's all of them. And they just give them to you. That's how it should be. right? It shouldn't be this crazy difficult thing to do to get these promo cards and, you know, contemplate if you have to take out a second mortgage to pay for them off of eBay. Just give us the cards, Fantasy Flight Games. Like, this should not be rocket science. This should not be hard. So many of these older cards don't benefit your retail stores anymore, right? Because again, that's why they do the promo cards the way that they do, because they want to help their local game stores, which I totally get. You can help them first and then help the consumers like that don't have access to retail stores. But anyway, just give people a promo card. Just give them the promo cards. And I know there's going to be people out there that comment or at least think like, well, they're just promo cards. They're not important for the game. You're right. They're not important for the game. But as somebody, myself or other people who love this game and you want to collect all the things from the game, there shouldn't be a massive barrier to entry to do that thing, right? There shouldn't be a huge financial burden to do that thing, right? It should be available to anybody, not just some select few who happen to be in the right spots. Just give it to everyone, right? And again, I get the argument that, you know, it's not important to the game, but still, if you're a collector of the game and you have all this stuff and you play, again, thousands of games of this, you know, thousands of hours, like, I think you should be allowed to have access to these things. Was that 2 D20 rants in one video? I don't think we've had 2 rants in one video in quite some time. So hopefully you enjoy that one. But no, I get kind of passionate. There's certain things and certain topics I get really passionate about because the community kind of really fights on them. And I think it's kind of silly that they fight. Like, again, if you disagree with me on any of this stuff, totally cool. You're allowed to disagree with me. That's fine. But I'm going to use my platform to give my opinion, and you're more than welcome to give yours. It doesn't bother me. But yeah, there's a few things that really kind of get me going, and we managed to hit both of them in this video. So maybe next Reddit reply we won't rant so much, and it'll be good for different reasons. But anyway. Like I said, to all my subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. It really means a lot. Like I said, the channel has grown a ton and it's absolutely nuts. If you want to figure out different ways to support this channel, down in the description, there's a bunch of links to different things, including the Discord channel, my Discord channel, Patreon, Coffee or Ko-fi, whatever it's called. There's links for tons of things on there. Make sure to go check it out. And hopefully you enjoyed this week's Reddit reply. I'm going to put a video up here. I don't know what it's going to be. The algorithm's going to pick it for me. So hopefully it's a good one and hopefully you enjoy it. I'll see you all next time.